Hey everyone, what's going on? This is the Train Club here, and today I bring to you a video that I have been wanting to give you for a while now, but the time just wasn't soon enough yet. So today, I bring you, finally, what a lot of you have been waiting for a long time now, my complete TWR 2022 collection. This has been heavily requested on me, as I just mentioned, ever since I started collecting these and doing wooden railway videos. And today, I am very excited to show you all the ones I have collected. I'm aware I don't have the full collection, but these are just all the ones I wanted to get. I probably won't be picking up any more before the next wave. Here we've got my little checklist here of all the ones I've got. Like I said, I'm just missing a few, but these are all the ones I just wanted to get for now. All of these were picked up between April and June. Like I said, I didn't expect to get Wave 2 so early. I didn't think anyone did, but from what I'm hearing, Wave 1 released actually late, and Wave 2 was on schedule. That's why they came out so close together, but I'm really interested to see what they do in Wave 3, but for now, I'm going to fulfill the request and show all you guys my full collection of Wooden Railway 2 models. So let's start off down here with the man himself. We've got Thomas. Funny enough, I actually do own 2 Thomas variants, both of the ones that were made, but I don't actually own the original standard Thomas. So, let's get started off with this one here. This is kind of the environmental Thomas that was exclusive to the figure 8 set. It's got some nice, just rock decals on the side, and some lizards, geckos, if they're picking up on camera, there we go. And then it has the gopher, or beaver, on the other side. This Thomas also comes with an exclusive face, which I'm pretty sure was the motive to buy the set for most people. It definitely was for me. I much prefer this face to the other one, which is why I'm pretty sure I remember on the packaging and the Amazon listing, it showed this Thomas with just the standard face, which is pretty misleading, and you'd think Mattel would want to show off the fact that it has a different face, because that would be like the main price jacker of the set. But hey, what do I know? Next we have the Strasburg Thomas. It's actually called the Day Out with Thomas exclusive, but I just called it that because that's where I got it, and now that name, it's stuck with that name in my head now. This Thomas is really just the same as any other Day Out with Thomas model. It's just the standard one with just a ton of thrown-on decals to make it stand out. This one, actually, they did a really cool thing with, and it now has, like, at least 10 different variants, I think, with the wheels. I'm pretty sure they all have the same color, but they're all just in, like, different orders. But it gives more of a standout. They took advantage of the fact that the wheels are more of a standout now that they're more of an expansion, if you know what I mean, on the model. Like, they stretch out more. But, yeah, I really like the color scheme on this one. That's why I got it. And, yeah, not too much to say. As you can see, it's just a ton of thrown-on decals, like rainbows, shooting stars. Stuff to make it stand out from the standard Thomas. Both of these Thomas models are really nice. They've got all the detail. Obviously, the most accurate ones we've had in a while, but again, that's a pretty low bar, considering what this range came after. But yeah, I really like the Thomas model, and let's move on. Next up, we have Nia. Like I said, these aren't in any particular order. This is another one that didn't do the trick for me until it was in person. I wanted to buy one more new character, and by that I mean like character I didn't already have in the wooden range. But yeah, a lot of my friends said they liked Nia, and she looked better in person, so I got her, and yes, I can definitely vouch for that. She looks 100 times better in person. It's very interesting to see a tank engine with the separate bogie. I think this is the first one of those we've gotten. yeah, she looks really nice. The decals are nice. Again, the shape of it is very accurate. And the face, obviously the main standout, is also really nice. I'm going to say this once now. I'll probably end up saying it 100 times anyway, but all of these models are just so much better in person than they are on the promo pics. Like, videos and pictures just don't do them justice. They are just really good. So moving on, next we have Percy. This was another fan favorite, I think. A lot of people first picked him up when the first wave dropped. And yeah, I can agree he's a really nice model. Again, it's cool to see the tank engines done differently in more of the scale to how they actually are in the show. He's got the surprised face there. I think this is the first variant I'm showing with the different face that's not smiling. But I think it honestly kind of fits him. And the face just looks spot on to how it is in the show. And so does the model. It's, again, nice to see a shorter version of Percy. This has always been one of my favorites, one of the ones I first wanted to pick up. So yeah, that's Percy for you. Next up, we have Diesel. I'm gonna have to say right off the bat that just to let you know if you plan on getting this one, a lot of people have been having problems with the face printing on this, like the decals have been messed up on the face. I know because he was the only other one they were selling at Strasburg besides the Thomas, and me and my friends went through the boxes and like half of them had the face misprinted. So yeah, I guess you just have to get lucky with this one. I got him off of Amazon. But yeah, he's another really nice model. They nailed the decals, although it's not really that hard to do in Diesel's case. The face is really nice. This is probably one of my favorite Diesel faces. It's not like the cheerful, happy one that we most of the time get, but it's just kind of the scheming one. I'm really glad they decided to take the risk and go out there with doing the different faces for this range, because it makes the models just 100 times more unique. So yeah, that's Diesel. Next up we have Edward. This was the one I always wanted to get from the start. I remember there being like early prototype pics of these models released, and Edward was the first one that was shown, and I always wanted him the most from the start. And yeah, to this day he still remains one of my favorites out of all of them. The face is an odd choice, being surprised, but I can't really think of anything other than that or happy that would fit his character. Here's the first mixed traffic engine that has the different bogey. Again, really nice. And yeah, this model's just really good. It looks great on the layout, looks great pulling rolling stock, and it's just a nice item to have in the collection. They did a classic character and they nailed him really well. The tender, if there's one nitpick I have to have with a lot of the tenders, like Edwards, it seems the top of it kind of looks awkward, like placed so high up on the chassis, but that is a very minor nitpick. Other than that, tender is fine. I'm glad we actually have the normal shape tenders again, instead of just the literally square cutouts with the horrible perspective decals put on. So yeah, that's gonna be Edward. Next up, we have my personal favorite out of all the ones I have, which is Toby. A lot of people think this is their least favorite. I don't think many people own this one, but oh my god, I'm even looking at it like being portrayed on the screen here, and it just does not do it justice. It's so much of a better model in person. I cannot say that enough. I really like the face, they nailed it. I really like the perspective. Just looking at him from all around is nice. And he looks, a lot of them, like almost all of them, look 100 times better on the layout. I know this is probably my bias here because Toby's my favorite character, but he is just such a good model. And I hate seeing him being shat on, like everyone shit-talking him, because he just looks so good to me. And again, I don't know if that's just my personal bias talking, but I really like this model, and I highly, highly recommend it. He's just really good. Next up, we have Rosie. This is another one that I didn't plan on getting from the start, but I am so glad I did. This model looks amazing. It's one of my favorites now that I have. Just really good, really accurate, and it is so good to have a proper wooden toy, or proper any toy of Rosie, honestly, in her red livery. Like, I think this is the first red livery Rosie toy we've gotten that's actually acceptable, and boy, did they knock it out of the park. I don't think they did one with Trackmaster, or they might have done one with the die-cast range, but I don't really keep up with that, so I wouldn't know. But this is just really good. I always preferred Rosie in her pink livery, but looking at this toy now makes me like the red one more. Just a really, really good model. The face is stellar. The wheels and the decals are nice. And like I said, it's good to see the decals in good perspective, as opposed to the wood ones, which were just really awkward. But yeah, there's Rosie for you. Next up, we have Henry, another fan favorite that a lot of people have picked up. I've seen most people pick up, and yeah, it's definitely worth it. Henry is a really nice, one of the best models, one of the oldest characters that everybody likes, done in this new form that everybody likes, so it makes it even better. I really like his face. It's more accurate to the CGI one. I'm pretty sure all of these are, but it's still nice. And yeah, it's really nice to see these newer engines with the newer bogies. Just very nice to look at from all angles. Looks even better on a layout, pulling like the Express or some other rolling stock, or just a long train in general. He looks really nice. The tender also, this is the first tender I'm showing with the new format that has all three wheels. Just really stellar. They knocked it out of the park, went all the way with this model, and he's just really nice to look. All of these are just really nice to look at. It's really hard for me to pick favorites. But speaking of favorites, next up we have James, which is definitely up there for me. This is another one that everybody shat on, like, after seeing the promo pics, and I even see people still shit on it now, even with, like, the having it in person. But I felt so bad after joining in with that talk, after I got this in person. This model just looks really, really good when you actually own it. It looks amazing on a layout. Like, I know I've said that for pretty much everyone now, but it's true. This has always been one of my favorites from day one. Again, we have the newer one with the bogies. I do understand what people are saying when it looks a little, like, slouched back and flat, especially seeing James's spoiler is larger in the show. But it's still a really good model, and it's always been one of my favorites. Next up, we have Kenji, which I think is the newest character here. Yeah, he is. And, again, it's hard to have a comparison since they never made this guy before. But, I didn't really collect the wood models anyway. I only had, like, 2 or 3. But, man, this is just a great toy in general. Great model. It just adds a nice fancy touch to your layout. They really knocked it out of the park in terms of accuracy. And it's nice to see a character that looks really good and cool in the show actually done well in toy form. I guess the Trackmaster one is fine, but I don't really think there have been any other toys of Kenji since from the time of when he came out to now, the merch has all just been pretty awful. So yeah, it's nice to see this character, which looks really good in the show, done equally as good in toy form. and I really like him. He's a very big standout among the rest, which, you know, obviously makes sense, but just gliding him along your layout, he looks stellar, and I highly recommend him. The coach, for some reason I thought Kenji had 2 coaches in the show, but I guess he only has 1. I'm not really a huge fan of the spacing on the wheels here. Like, it looks pretty awkward, and again, this is another one of those ones that I don't care for how it looks with the body so high up on the chassis. But again, it's a minor nitpick. It's completely fine, and it's barely noticeable looking at it attached to him. Next up, we have Emily. I think this is the biggest example out of all of these of a model that nobody liked on the promo pics, but looks really, really amazing in person. The decals are all painted on well. The separate bogey they used to their advantage by doing the big wheel. I know it was probably hard to decide how the structure of this model was going to look because, you know, Emily is different from all the other engines, but I think they did her really well. The face is good. The entire perspective of the model is good. The one nitpick I see everybody point out is the square boiler, but it doesn't even bother me one bit in person. It's from a certain perspective, it's even pretty hard to see. I highly recommend this one. The most out of all of them, probably. This one's just amazing, and it's great to have in your collection. The tender, this is the first in-person tender I'm seeing with the 12 on it, and it looks really nice. The coal looks a little awkward because it's just half of it, and then the other half is blank, but again, minor nitpick, great tender, and looks even better with the model. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have Gordon. This was the first one I think I ever got in the mail. I got him together with a couple others, but this is the first one I opened in person. And my God, I still remember how I felt when I opened it in person. This, to this day, is one of my favorite models, one of the best models overall in terms of accuracy and just personal preference. This model is amazing. One of the best Gordon toys out there ever made. The face is amazing. They completely nailed it on the head. It just looks really good to finally see like a Gordon toy, like expanded, the correct number of wheels, everything. Because now you have, if there's one way to sum up a lot of these newer engines, it's basically like you have the thing right from the CGI series as a toy, as it should be. Because Mattel just hasn't been doing that at all since they took over the brand, and this is just a stellar model, really good. And the tender, as you can see, there's the full thing. It has the full 3 wheels, the full scale, not just a block of wood with 2 wheels. Just really nice. I'll do a quick showing of my 2 pieces of rolling stock here. This came with the figure 8 set, not anything special, just a plastic truck. And this is probably the smallest thing I've ever seen. The smallest piece of rolling stock I've ever seen. Just Nia's cargo car. But yeah. And then I have this one set here, which is the figure 8. Which again, honestly, if there's a quick way to sum it up, it looks a lot better in person, just like all of these. Again, like I predicted, I ended up saying that like 100 times, but it's just the truth. Yeah, this just gives off like a nice farm or country type vibe. But yeah, that is going to be my entire TWR2 collection. I can't really pick a favorite out of all these, or I can't say which one is the best, but I think I'm gonna have to dial down my absolute favorites to Toby, Rosie, Gordon, and Emily. and I think those are going to be my 4 favorites out of all of them. Although again, like I said, all of these look just really nice. I highly recommend them, especially if you're like getting back into Wooden Railway. I highly recommend even the ones that people say look bad on the promo pics, because in person it's like completely different. So yeah, that's my entire collection. Thank you guys for watching, and bye for now.